Tomorrow, Warframe will launch the biggest update of the year, the Old Peas, coming with a cinematic story quest, tons of content, but it is mainly focused around two brand new game modes, the Descendia as well as the Perita Rebellion. And in this video, I'm gonna go over everything you need to know about one of them, the Perita Rebellion, how to play it with a breakdown of the mission structure, which rewards await, and most importantly, how it gives you access to the new operator features and the focus expansion. Let's jump right into it. First of all though, a couple of very important details. This video right here is sponsored by Digital Extremes, the Warframe developers, who gave me early access to the test build so I could record all of this, but of course this means that whatever you're seeing in the background is not the finished game build just yet, meaning a couple little details, like for example resource count or something, might still change until release. Also, let's quickly talk about spoilers. This video will be mostly spoiler-free, there is nothing about the new story quest. However, there's a chapter later in the video about the 3 new bosses, of which we've only seen 1 so far, meaning if you want to be completely surprised with the other 2, then just skip over that specific chapter, but the rest of the video is still safe to watch. And finally, this video is a cool team effort because, as I said in the intro, this new update brings 2 game modes, and today we're going to talk about the Perita Rebellion one. But if you want to have the full picture and also learn about the Descendia, then you will find a video on that over on the channel of TheKengineer. I'm gonna put it in the cards for you, but don't worry, there will also be an end screen at the end of this video. And with all that being said, let's now jump into the trenches of Perita. First of all, let's talk about how you even gain access to the new modes. This update, the Old Peas, comes with a brand new story quest. It's gonna be around about 1 hour and 10 minutes long, and in order to be able to play that story quest, you will have to have the Warframe storyline finished until the end of the quest, Lotus Eaters. After that, you will gain access to the new story quest, the Old Peas, and once that's finished, you can walk up to your navigation console, and then it will give you 2 options. One, to open up the normal start chart, but a second one, which will bring you into this screen right here, giving you the choice between the Descendia and the Perita Rebellion. However, there's a second option. If you're, for example, a newer Tenno, or you're just not finished with the Warframe storyline, there will also be an option to play the 2 new modes regardless of story progress, and all the rewards that you've gained from playing will be stored for you, and you will gain access to them once you've reached that point in the story at a later date. But now, let's take a look at what the Perita Rebellion even looks like. What you're gonna do in this game mode is, you will relive 3 memories from the Old Peas era, and all of them take place during the Civil War on the Tau Moon Perita. These 3 memories here are essentially 3 different missions, all with a unique final boss. We're gonna get into that in a minute. What is much more interesting here though, is this selection down here. Because before you start the mission, you also have to pick which focus school for your operator you want to run the mission with. And this has quite the impact on your gameplay. See, the focus school that you pick here will be the one that your operator is equipped with during the mission. Together with your selected focus school, you will also get the corresponding Tauron strike, aka the focus ultimate, and these Tauron strikes come with very different effects. We have on the one hand Vexoric, the big sword for the Naramon focus school, which not only deals massive damage when swiped across the battlefield, but it also gains you +2 melee combo for each enemy hit. We have Lorak for the Zenuric focus school, which makes it that all the enemies hit by the light beam have a 25% chance of dropping energy orbs. Then for Onairu, we have Korgon the Mighty Hammer, which emits a shockwave. Vazarin is very good for AoE damage dealing because you summon a splash of water and a portion of the damage dealt to enemies in that splash is shared among them. And then finally we have the Mighty Bow Thara for Madarai, which is just a phenomenal damage dealing tool. So yeah, these are the Tauron strikes that come with the focus school that you pick, and for each objective that you successfully complete later in the mission, your Tauron strike will gain a little bit of charge, making you stronger the further you get. Don't worry, we're gonna get into the mission structure in just a second. But Tauron strikes are not the only thing that you get by picking your focus school, because on top of that, there's also a focus school specific buff that will power you up throughout the mission depending on how many mission objectives you successfully fulfill. For example, if we go with Zenuric, we gain more ability strength and maximum energy. Vazarin will give us more max health and status chance. Armor and bonus impact damage comes from Onairu. Naruman, of course, melee focused. And Madarai will make your guns go burr. As for the 3 missions themselves, they will follow a specific structure. At the start, you will be dropped onto the battlefield of the town moon Perita. And because your war memories are a fragile thing, you can only maintain that memory for 12 minutes. That is the central game mechanic, because what the Perita Rebellion game mode revolves around is trying to complete as many objectives on the battlefield as you can in those 12 minutes in order to gain more power for the final boss fight, which is going to happen once the timer reaches 0. These mission objectives take place across the battlefield of Perita, which you can quickly navigate with a brand new addition, that being specific grappling hooks that you can latch onto and catapult yourself over vast distances. This will not only help you get from A to B quicker, but you will also get a void damage bonus after using them. As for the different mission objectives, I don't want to spoil too much, I don't want to take all of them away for you, but the way that they're handled, they're somewhat comparable to open world bounties, where you have to, for example, defend a target for some time, collect batteries and then bring them to a generator to power that up, find ammunition depots to resupply turrets on the battlefield, or just hold a position against oncoming waves of enemies. But this is not all. On top of these normal mission objectives, from time to time the Separatists are gonna get so annoyed with you that they send a remote-controlled Warframe after you, and when you take them out, you will gain additional rewards. And on top of that, for every 3 completed encounters, you will also gain bonus resources at the end of the mission. But at some point, your 12 minutes will be over, and once that happens, the final boss fight starts. Last spoiler warning for everybody who wants to explore the boss fights themselves. The Perita Rebellion comes with 3 unique boss fights. One of them we've already seen on the dev stream. He's called Honholus, the big dude with the second phase, which is going to take place in Arkwing. So not much new to say here, focus on his weak points to unlock his health bar, and then shoot him down. Up next, we have a boss called the Dactylist. This one we kinda sorta saw in the TennoCon showcase. It's this big sentient spider-like looking creature, and with this fight, you really gotta watch your environment because he has a lot of AoE attacks in store for you that you ideally want to avoid. Movement definitely is king with this one. And then finally, we have a very epic showdown against the Prime Vanguard. This will see you take on 6 Prime Warframes at the same time who are gonna work together and tag team you with their abilities. So definitely keep your guard up for this one. These are the 3 boss encounters that you can expect. I personally had a lot of fun with all of them, but to not take away all of the mystique and to not be too spoilery, I was specifically asked to not go too deep into the details with builds and everything, so you can still have all the fun of figuring that out for yourself tomorrow. But you might be wondering, why should I do all of this in the first place? What's in it for me? That's a good question. So now, let's talk about the rewards. See, the main new progression mechanic that comes with the Old Piece update is the focus expansion for your operators. This includes the 5 new focus ultimates called Tauron Strikes and the corresponding ultimate weapons, the Tectilist artifacts. And in order to get your greedy little fingers on those, that is exactly why you need to play the Perita Rebellion. See, in order to unlock these ultimate operator weapons, the Tectilist artifacts, you will need 3 unique resources that you will fittingly get from the 3 boss fights. With these resources then, you can go to the Sanctum Anatomica, where you will find a new gate that will bring you into Albrecht's Cathedral, and here you will talk to Marie, aka Proto-Wisp, who sells you these 5 Tectilist artifacts for the corresponding resources. Once you've then bought them, you can go to your operator equipment screen, as you see in the background right here, where you will find a new equipment slot under your amp, and that is where your Tectilist artifact goes. If you click on it, you can also upgrade it with new mods and arcanes, which in turn you also get from playing the Perita Rebellion game mode. And once you've unlocked the Tectilist artifact for a specific focus school, you will also see that the focus trees will have expanded with new nodes. These new nodes will give you further buffs and features in line with the use of the Tectilist artifact, and in order to unlock those, you will not only need more focus points as per usual, but also more of the new resources that you will get from playing the Perita Rebellion. This way, with each run completed and each focus node unlocked, your operator will become stronger for the next mission. But of course, the Perita Rebellion is only one of the 2 new game modes, so definitely also check out KnightmareFrame's video here next to learn everything about the other new mode, the Descendia. See you all in the next one, and until then, as always, good loot!